What if risk isn't just the workload, but the silence surrounding it? Last week we walked a leadership team through our Safe Pillars Diagnostic, not to report results, but to help them understand what we measure, why it matters, and what shifts once you start looking beneath the surface of performance and productivity. This is a high-pressure, people-intensive organization facing multiple layers of complexity: shift work, contract-heavy teams, cultural dynamics, and transition from project mode into long-term operations. What we have discussed in this session holds valuable insight for any organization who's trying to make sense of team stress, change fatigue, and safety culture. Let's unpack it. Welcome to Thrive at the Top, the podcast for leaders building resilient, high-performing teams without burning them out in the process. I'm Mabel Mimani, and I believe the real performance advantage is human, not just operational. So what is the diagnostic walkthrough? What does it cover? In this walkthrough, we were not measuring the data yet. We were exploring the why and the how behind our diagnostic. Here's what we covered with this team. The 14 psychosocial risk areas aligned with the ISO 45103. The structure of our Safe Pillars framework: support, awareness, foundations, and environment. And it also focused on why we separate diagnostics for leaders and teams, because risks and responsibilities differ. And then we spoke about how we identify hotspots like unclear role expectations, poor shift scheduling, or low confidence to seek help. And then we spoke about the way our data drives decisions, heat maps, maturity scores, cultural risk insights, and most importantly, how diagnostics shift workplace conversations from assumptions to action. This wasn't a generic staff survey. It was like a live walkthrough of the very tool we use to assess organizational risks from a people, performance, and psychological safety lens. So what are the real challenges that came up from this walkthrough? While we didn't explore specific findings, the conversation revealed the realities that they were dealing with. Teams under chronic shift stress, a mix of short-term contractors and long-term staff navigating different expectations. And they were also facing cultural constraints and communication breakdowns across departments. And they were also facing leadership uncertainty, especially during transitions. And something else that came up: safety incidences with no structured well-being response in place. Another factor: a deeply human comment: we should have had this support 2 years ago. It was a powerful reminder. Well-being isn't something you address when things go wrong. That's not well-being. It's something we embed to reduce the chance they ever do. So why do our walkthroughs matter? Before you ask for a mental health program, before you run another well-being campaign, you need to know what's exactly going on, what is actually going on within the organization. The walkthrough gives leaders a safe, exploratory space to understand the framework and methodology. It gives leaders clarity on what risks apply to their sector and their team. It also gives them language and structure to start internal conversations, and a preview of what is actionable, data-led support can look like. It's not about blaming. It's about building a foundation of insight and intention. So if you're a leader wondering how to move from well-being awareness to practical, measurable strategy, this is your next step. Book your diagnostic walkthrough with our team. It's confidential, it's insightful, and it's often the beginning of culture change that lasts. Head to mmcompletewellbeing.com or send us a message to schedule your workplace resilience and safety consultation. You don't have to have the answers, but you can start asking the right questions. Thanks for listening to Thrive at the Top. Remember, organizations that will thrive in the next decade are those who learn to see stress before it escalates. Let's build that future together. Until next time, stay well and lead with intention.